In this video, I'm going to show you how I completely sheet mulched this high tunnel using a 14 species cover crop mix inoculated with mycorrhizal fungi and beneficial bacteria to maximize the biodiversity of soil life, which contributes to healthier plants and higher yields. I'll show you how I planted the cover crop and how I terminated it without chemicals or machinery using nothing more than a $1 hand tool that I had laying around, and how I used the above ground biomass as a sheet mulch for weed suppression that continues to feed the soil as it composts in place. And I'll explain how this living sheet mulch pulls nutrients from deep within the soil, locks in fertility, and creates a thriving underground ecosystem that works with nature and not against it. By the end of this video, you'll see why this method's not only easier than cardboard, it's better for your soil, better for your plants, and better for your long-term success. Yo, 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 what up, Gromies? Welcome back to Chef's Harvest Farm. If you're new here, I'm Chef Mikey. I'm a former executive chef turned urban farmer. So to get started, I cropped out the entire high tunnel and made sure it's weed free. So this is the cover crop seed that I'm going with. It's the warm season soil builder from greencover.com. And so I'm gonna plant it using the earthway seeder with the beet plate, and that's gonna drop it like super dense. I like the beet plate because it's big enough for like all the seeds, but then there's a lot of small seeds in here also, so it's gonna drop them pretty densely. So I think I'm just gonna do like 4 or 5 rows on each bed, and these plants are probably gonna get pretty huge, so I don't want to plant it too densely. You know, I don't want like 6 or 7 rows on the bed. I think I'm just gonna go for 4. So we'll do 4 rows on the bed with the beet plate, the warm season soil builder from greencover.com. Are you still using QuickBooks for your farm's bookkeeping? You're definitely wasting time and losing money. I used QuickBooks and it was a nightmare. Categorizing expenses for Schedule F was confusing. I knew I was missing out on tax deductions and USDA grant funding. That's when I found FarmRaise. It's built just for farmers. It automatically tracks expenses, categorizes deductions, and even sends alerts for USDA grants so you don't miss out on free money for your farm. Right now, you can get 20% off with my discount code CHEFM20. Stop wasting time and losing money. Go over to farmraise.com right now, sign up today, and start your farm season off smarter, not harder. I seeded this cover crop on June 12th and watered it in using the overhead sprinkler system that I have installed in the high tunnel. I always treat my cover crops with the same care that I would a cash crop. So I put the irrigation timer on for 10 minutes a day, and within just 1 day it was germinated and off to the races. This warm season soil builder mix is loaded with more than 14 different species, all designed to improve organic matter, build healthier soil, and keep weeds under control. It's a diverse combination of legumes, grasses, brassicas, and broadleaves, and each one plays a unique role in the soil ecosystem. Legumes capture nitrogen from the atmosphere and make it available to other plants. Grasses send out prolific root systems that improve soil structure, aggregation, and water infiltration. Brassicas are excellent nutrient scavengers, pulling up minerals that other plants can't reach, and broadleaves drive down deep tap roots that break up compaction, and when they flower, they attract pollinators and beneficial insects. When all these species are working together, they leave no room for weeds. Instead, you're building organic matter, adding diversity, and improving nutrient cycling, all of which prepares the ground for your next crop. The seeds are non-GMO, untreated, and pre-inoculated with beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi to boost soil biology and increase microbial activity, giving your crops a head start. The mix includes cowpeas, non-GMO soybeans, mung beans, sun hemp, sorghum Sudan grass, German millet, brown top millet, African cabbage, rapeseed, brown mustard, sunflower, buckwheat, okra, flax, and the inoculants. What makes this blend especially powerful is that it's designed to create the perfect environment for mycorrhizal fungi. Plant roots on their own can only access about 1 to 2% of the soil profile, which means most of the nutrients in your soil are locked away. But mycorrhizal fungi connect with those roots, mining nutrients and minerals from deep within the soil, delivering them to the plant in exchange for sugars. By planting species that foster this relationship, you're creating a thriving, living soil ecosystem that fuels healthier plants and higher yields. The growth on this mix was absolutely insane. Within 6 weeks, it was overgrown and starting to fall over on its own, which to me was the perfect sign that it was ready to be terminated. To do that, I used the simplest tool you can imagine, a $1 tomato stake tied to a piece of rope left over from building the high tunnels. I started by walking the sides and crimping the cover crop inwards. Then I came back and crimped the rest of it all in one direction. Because my farm's on a slight slope, I always crimp down the hill. And keeping everything flattened in one direction makes it much easier for the next step, pulling a silage tarp over the top. When the crop's all facing one way, the tarp slides over smoothly without snagging, and then I'm not tripping over stems going in every direction. Before I pulled the tarp, I ran the sprinklers for about 10 minutes to get everything nice and wet, and that extra moisture helps create a warm, steamy environment under the tarp, which speeds up decomposition and ensures the crop is fully terminated. It also helps surface weed seeds germinate under the tarp only to suffocate without light or air, giving me a clean, weed-free start for planting. After about 2 weeks, I pulled the tarps back to reveal a living sheet mulch, similar to the cardboard method, but instead of dead paper, it's plants with their roots still intact, continuing to feed the soil biology and the beneficial fungi. Now, technically, you could transplant directly into this sheet mulch without any further prep. But in this case, I decided to rebuild permanent no-dig garden beds right on top of it. I laid out 30-inch beds with 16-inch walkways using tomato stakes and twine. Then I topped each bed with about 4 inches of compost and covered the walkways with wood chips. I also made sure to mulch around the outside edges of the high tunnel to keep weeds from creeping back in. Next, I'll show you exactly what I planted here and why. By this point, it's mid-August, which is the perfect time to start planting my fall crops here in Tennessee. I planted the middle 2 beds to curly kale, spaced at 18 inches apart. I put the kale in the center because if managed right, I'll be able to harvest it all winter and even into the spring. By keeping it in the middle, it's also easier for me to put hoops over those beds and cover them for extra insulation on really cold nights. On the outside beds, I planted faster growing crops so I could start generating revenue quickly, since this tunnel's been out of production for a couple of months. On one side, I did a full bed of red radishes, and on the other side, a full bed of Hawkeye turnips. The radishes will give me about $500 in just 21 days. And then I can immediately replant that bed into lettuce and then possibly squeeze another quick crop before the season ends. The turnips will take closer to 45 days, but also yield about $500. And after that, I'll still have time to get another couple fast-growing crops before winter sets in. I've been experimenting with cover crops for almost a decade now, and what I've come to realize is this. The key to soil health is diversity. I try to farm using nature as a model. You never see a forest wiped out by pests or disease because there's balance. When we grow multi-species cover crops, we're balancing the soil biology. Compare that to planting just one species, like buckwheat. I see a lot of farmers doing monocrop covers of buckwheat in the summer, thinking they're improving their soil. But the truth is, when you only grow one species, you're not really adding diversity. Multi-species cover crops, on the other hand, create a living ecosystem underground that leads to healthier plants, higher yields, and less reliance on inputs and pest control. It's about working with nature and not against it. So before you start saving up cardboard boxes and peeling off tape, I encourage you to dig a little deeper and ask yourself, is this really going to improve my soil? Probably not. So next, if you want to learn how I build permanent no-till raised beds, you could check out this video. And if you want to see the new irrigation system that completely changed how I farm, check out this video here. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks, y'all.